This is meteorologist Andrew Pinero. So this is not weather related at all, this video. This was a bit of a request that I had. I have the new car, the WRX, and some people were asking, well, it is manual, so how do you drive stick? So I'm going to kind of go through a couple of different episodes of basically how to drive manual transmission. So in this episode, it's basically just intro, what the controls look like, what the pedals look like, and then just getting started. So let's get started with the overview. So if you've only driven automatic before, this looks quite different, the shifter. So kind of hard to see with the angle there. There's 135, 2, 4, 6R. So these are the gears. Automatic transmissions have these same gears. So essentially, you always want to start out in 1, which on this shifter is all the way to the left and forward. That is first. I should be doing this with the clutch pedal in. Make it a little bit easier to get in and out. So that's first. Second, push up a little bit. When it's in the middle, and you can push left and right, that's neutral. And then this one, while it's in this middle position, if you push forward, now that's third. Push back, that's fourth. And now, a little bit up, back into neutral there. You go off to the right and forward, that's fifth. Pull all the way back, that is sixth. So when you're shifting normally, that's all the gears you can go into. And if you notice R, reverse, it's all the way to the right and down. But that's also sixth. This one has a little safety mechanism. This right here is the safety. So when you're driving normally, you can't accidentally go into reverse, because if you push all the way to the right and down, that would just be regular sixth. To actually get into reverse, you have to pull up on this and go all the way to the right there, and now down. Now that's all the way in reverse. So again, first, second, all the way to the left, middle. You know you're in the middle because it can push left and right. Middle up is third, middle down is fourth. Then all the way to the right and up, that's fifth. All the way to the right and down, that's sixth. And then reverse, you have to pull up on the safety all the way over to the right and down. Now that is the shifting for my car. Some cars have different positions for reverse. For instance, reverse could be all the way to the right, and then you have to push a little bit extra hard and then forward. So it's equivalent to the position of first for reverse. That's where if you do drive a manual car, or if you drive somebody else's manual car, you have to find out where your gears are. That's why they're listed right there. And also, I have a 6-speed manual. There's 4-speed, 5-speed, and 6-speed. So you have to keep in mind what kind of car and what kind of transmission you have. Next, let's take a look at some of the foot pedals. Alright, so here's the foot pedals. There's 3 active pedals, and all the way on the left, this one, that is called the dead pedal. All cars have that. So essentially, you can kind of think of it as automatics have 4 pedals, and automatics have 3 pedals, and manuals have 4 pedals. Dead pedal, clutch, brake, gas. Automatics don't have the clutch, so you just have brake, gas, and the dead pedal. So gas and brake, exactly the same on a manual and an automatic car. Dead pedal obviously is the same because it doesn't do anything. The extra one, this, is the clutch pedal. So when you're shifting and when you start the car, this you have to press all the way down to the floor. Different than the brake. The brake, when you press down, it actually doesn't hit the floor, and you don't want it to hit the floor. You want it to have a little bit extra space. Now with the clutch pedal is different, because you know the clutch is all the way pressed in when it's at the floor, and then this is where you're controlling how much clutch you're giving out. So when you're starting in first, you have one all the way down, and this is the little bit of tricky foot movement that you have to kind of get used to. So my foot is not pressing the gas pedal. So usually when I start in first, I give it a little bit of gas, to get the revs up a little bit. I'd say maybe around 1500 to 2000. You don't want to go too high because that will burn the clutch. Then, as you're holding it there, you're slowly letting out the clutch. And while you're doing that, you're giving it a little bit more gas, because the RPMs are going to be dropping as you let out the clutch pedal. And then on this clutch, all the way down, and then somewhere just a little bit beyond halfway, this is what's called the grab point. I'd say once I get to halfway, there's really nothing going on with the car. No movement. Then I go a little bit more. That's where the clutch starts to grab, right about there. This is the critical point. So going from all the way down to up a little bit, you can do that and not stall the car, just that little bit of movement without giving it any gas. But once you get up near the top end of the clutch, this is where you really have to make sure you're giving it proper gas, but not too much. Because then as you're giving it gas, you got to let out the clutch, and then all the way off the clutch, foot on the dead pedal. You do not want to keep your foot sitting on the clutch, because when you're doing that, you could just accidentally tap it a little bit. And if you're doing that, that'll slightly disengage the clutch. And when it's doing that, it's slipping, creating friction, creating heat, and you're wearing it out prematurely. So again, I'm stopped right now. No foot on the gas, no foot on the clutch. Clutch all the way in. Goes into first. I give a little gas to get the RPMs up. Start releasing the clutch. Once I feel the grab point right about there, that's when I start giving a little more gas and coming off the clutch slowly. Then on mine, on this car, I feel a little almost like a clunk, which is the positive action of the clutch. That means I know I'm in gear. And then the last little bit, I can just let go and then give it gas normally. Once you're in gear, that's all you really have to worry about. So that was a quick little peek at the pedals, the shifter. The one other thing I'll show you real quick here. This, the handbrake, not an emergency brake. That is not to be used, well, you can use an emergency, but it's not only for an emergency. In a manual, this is how you park the car. So I'm parked right now, and I'll show you. I have it. See, it doesn't go all the way to the left and the right. It's in gear. I have it in first right now, and the handbrake is up. The idea with this is a secondary. So even in automatic cars, you should be using the handbrake to park the car, not just drive. Because when you put it in, or not just park on the gear shifter, when you put it in park, essentially there's a little gear or a tooth that goes into a ring gear on the outer edge of the inside of the transmission. It prevents the transmission from spinning. You could still rock. So right now, I can't really rock the car because the handbrake is on. Same thing. So this is a safety. Right now, foot's not on the clutch, so I'm fully in first gear. If I disengage the handbrake while it's still in first, I rolled a tiny bit, but now I'm not moving. So now the handbrake is off. There's no brakes on the car right now. The only thing keeping the car from moving is first gear. So this is designed as a safety brake. So just to show, I'm going to step on the clutch, which disengages the transmission. I'm moving. So I stopped again. I have the clutch engaged. And when I let off the brake, I have no brakes on again. First gear is preventing the car from moving. The idea with that is the engine's off. The engine's not spinning. In manual transmission cars, it's a very hard line connection. There's no fluid torque converter that happens in automatic cars. So the engine is directly connected to the wheels. The wheels don't, if the engine's not spinning, the wheels aren't spinning. That's also what engine braking is, which will be in a little bit later video, how engine braking works. Essentially, if you're going down a hill, while you're in gear and you let off the gas pedal and you just feel like you're coasting, but you're slowly slowing down, the engine's actually not using any gas. The engine fuel injectors are off. and then the vacuum that's created inside the engine while it's not actually making any power slows the car down because the engine is directly connected to the wheels. So that's why in manual cars, when you park, you always want to put the handbrake up first because that's supposed to be your primary. Then you want to put it in first. Sometimes you can put it in reverse as well, depending on if you're on an uphill or a downhill. All right, hello everybody. Got the GoPro on. Kind of see my surroundings here. Now looking down, here's the shifter. It's in first because I can't move it left to right. Handbrake's up. I'm in park right now. So let's start the car. Now the car has to be started, I don't know if you can see it really well, with the foot pedal. The clutch has to be all the way in, and you always want to make sure you're in neutral. See, now I can move this fully left and right. That means I'm in neutral. And then as a secondary, you want to put your foot on the brake. Even though you have the handbrake on, you just want to make sure you don't roll. Now, start the car normally. And then once you double check that you're in neutral and handbrake's up, foot off the brake, foot off the clutch. See the revs over there? This is very important, the rev counter. Alright, so essentially, my foot's gonna go on the brake now. Handbrake, down. Not moving because my foot is on the brake down there. So now, clutch pedal in, all the way over here to the left and forward. I'm in first. Now, this is the very important part. It's a little bit easier on this situation because I'm on a downhill. So, I'm going to step off the brake, moving a little bit. Now the revs, I'm going to rev up a little bit. Slowly let off the clutch pedal. And now I have no foot on any pedals and I'm moving. Little gas, slowly off the clutch, and there we go. Now, I'm in first. Good opportunity here to shift to second. So get the revs up a little bit more. Clutch in, shifter down, off the clutch, in second. You want to go a little bit slower off the clutch when you're in second. Going into higher gears, a little bit different. Also, creeping, kind of like moving or inching, creeping, it's very hard to do and it's not good to do in a manual transmission because that really wears out the clutch. Alright, I'm in first, RPM's going up, and then clutch in, shift to second, clutch out. This one, flooring it, clutch in, that's what drops the RPM, and now shift up. I'm in neutral right now, still with the clutch in, then push forward. I'm in third. I have to do what's called rev matching now, just because I was holding the clutch in too long, revving up a little bit with the gas and then slowly releasing the clutch, back in gear. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that little intro into how to drive manual. I'll have a couple more videos coming out in this how to drive manual series. Most of my videos, if you're just new to the channel, are weather. I am a professional meteorologist. I work on television. I have my own business. The next couple of videos will be a bit more about the rev matching because that's something very important. Clutch wear, different things with synchros, how the actual shifting mechanism works. So I had a couple of videos coming up with that. So definitely hit that subscribe button, the little bell icon next to that so you get all my latest videos. Have a great day, everybody. This is meteorologist Andrew Pinero. I'll see you guys in the next one.